Hey, what is up everybody, here's Matsik once again, and in today's video we are going to be rooting Nibbles from Hack the Box. This is in the TJ Null OSCP list, so I'm kind of preparing for it in the long run. So this is an easy one, but it's your way valuable. In terms in that we need to like read a Metasploit exploit, basically, right? Script, and figure out how to do it manually. That's a great part of why this machine is so interesting, and I think that it's even why this machine is on his list, TJ Null's list, right? So as always, I've just started off with my nmap scan, so let me walk you through it. I've ran the tag pn argument in order to tell nmap that the host is already up and running, preventing it from, well, sending out some other probes in order to check whether or not the host is up, right? Tag SV that will append this column right here, that is a service version detection scan, and the C appended to it, it's just a shorthand for the whole parameter. Another one, tag SC, just as this one, but you can just squeeze them in, right? So it will perform several checks, several default scripts on each of those ports that are found open, such as SSH host key, HTTP title, HTTP server header. There are some others for HTTP based ports, but in this case it looks like the scripting engine just found like these two pieces of information for us to see, and well, that's fine, right? Dash p dash will perform a scan over the whole range of ports that are available over the TCP IP protocol, which are 65,535. Here is 33, but because they are closed, but 33, 34, 35, right? Also, we're going to be using tag N just to disable DNS resolution to speed it up a little bit, around a minute or two. Minimum rate that will send no less packages over the wire than 500 a minute. And since we are on a VPN, this is, well, in a VPN in a capture the flag CTF, right? Because that will speed it up a ton. And as long as I'm concerned, 500 is just about right in terms of not losing any kind of information and packages on the wire, right? While I've seen some other folks using 5,000 packages a minute, and for me that's insane. It has made me lose a lot of information, so 500 is fine for me. This $T is just a way of invoking variables in bash. So I've defined my variable t as in target with the target IP, right? And last, I'll be saving the output into a file called general inside a directory called nmap. And onto the results, we have OpenSSH 7.2p2 for Ubuntu on port 22, and Apache HTTPD 2.4 port 18 on port 80 for, well, an Apache server, right? So here we are, and we see a hello world, which is it doesn't say anything to us, and we can use Webalizer to start checking like the technologies used in here, and we see PHP, Ubuntu, jQuery, Apache HTTP server, RSS. So all these things or pieces of information tells me something, and it is that maybe this is not just a simple web page, but behind it there is something else. So I'm gonna hit Ctrl+U to check the view source code, and I see right away there's a directory called Nibbles. So let us go there, Nibbles, and indeed we have the same technologies in here, so that assumption was just accurate, and we can just move on from here. and start checking this. So this is Nibbles Jump. There are no posts, categories, uncategorized, music, videos. There are no posts. Again, my image, pages, home. Let me zoom out a little bit. And from here, I don't see anything interesting for me, at least. So I'm gonna be fuzzing from this point. So let us go back, and I will be using my preferred tool for fuzzing, which is FFUFCU. Let me use just this syntax, and I'll be using tag C for colored output, tag U for the HTTP. Here I invoke my variable t, and here I specify the keyword fuzz in order to FFUF to know where to put every entry on this list, which is their buster or list directory list 2.3 medium.txt. And on top of that, I'm going to be using a 200 threads just to speed it up. Well, actually, before fuzz, I'm going to be using Nibble block, right? So Nibble block, and before that, please fuzz. So let's go. And we see a admin.php. Well, actually, first an admin. So that must be a directory or something. And yes, it is. I definitely want to keep that in mind for later. And in the meantime, let me go to admin.php, which is different. And well, here I see a login panel, right? Also, I have content. So let me check that. Check that from here. Instead of admin, content, and I have plugins and themes. I'll be seeing that later. And well, this is interesting. I have a temp directory. Oh, actually, let me just quit this. And well, it's empty. So let me open private and public. And public, I have posts. There's nothing, obviously. I didn't see any of it before. Upload, some photos and thumbnails. Pages, nothing at all. And comments, but this is definitely an informational finding you should report, since there is directory list enabled and that it's dangerous in terms of system enumeration. You know, I mean, I could freely access some posts that I shouldn't be intended to visit, right? And here in private, which sounds more promising, obviously, we have a lot of things like keys PHP obviously will not be showing up since it gets interpreted. Keys.php, config.xml, let me look at that. And maybe I can, well, admin.nibbles.com, that might be a user, right? And nothing else. Let's just start enumerating this. Pages, post, shadow, well, users.xml, that sounds great. And pages, nothing interesting. Auto ink, I don't know what that is. Shadow.php will not show up. And here, well, this is users.xml, it says admin. Oh, this is dynamic, okay. And it says 10.10.10.1, which is not my IP. Neither the target's IP, and whatever this is, and fail count 1, it says blacklist, and admin. Okay, so I guess this is kind of a, this is kind of counting up the fail count, a fail count variable for how many times we fail at logging in. I don't know, so let me admin and incorrect username or password, and I don't know, let me do. And yep, indeed, so admin has failed once into logging into his account, but here's a blacklist for our IP, which is 10.10.14.4, right? Now, if it wasn't, because this is kind of easy to guess, now I'll tell you why before. I'll tell you why in a minute. Sorry for that. We should come up with a way to bypass that restriction. Now, first off, we would like to go and try how many fail counts we have until it completely blocks us, because it says blacklist, but I'm still able to do some things, right? So we can start checking, and the answer to this is just kind of easy, to be honest. Just Nibbles, right? I think it is like admin Nibbles, and we are inside. That's great. And the good news about it is that at etc user share wireless rock you, even if we wanted to brute force, we would do it just fine with rock you, right? Like I'm gonna be using rep tag E, and I'm gonna be using this little heading here and Nibbles and this to just express. It's like a regular expression to say, okay, I want this string to start exactly with N, and I want it to end with S. So I just want exactly this match. So there you go, there is, and I can specify tag N just to see the number of the line. The word is at, so 2575. That is just fine. And well, look at this notification, login fail attempt. And this is interesting because yeah. So I want to tell you what would be the way to bypass this restriction, because you just need to try and see how many times you have until it completely blocks you, and the answer is 5. This is just basic like entering wrong credentials and see how many chances we have for that, and it's 5, right? Now there is a header we can specify to bypass the restriction, because we have the X forwarded 4, and we can specify any IP we want, so 10 11 11 1 2 3, and that will grant us 5 more attempts to fail, right? So imagine creating a Python script where you can concatenate some for loops, like nested for loops, in which you can every 5 tries the password, right? Every 5 passwords tried, change one number here. So 5 passwords, then you go up to 124, and so on and so forth. Even here you would have like millions, literally millions of options to brute force this page, which wouldn't be able otherwise. And if you want to go ahead and try with Hydra, you definitely should, just in order to try, just in order to test your options. But again, that's not going to work, so that's the actual way to bypass it, right? So I'm not gonna do it here. I'm just gonna go ahead with the showcase of this machine or whatever, and in this point you would try to look for search exploit enable block. So 403 or now block enable block 3 version, right? So I can start checking this, for example, in setting, just to see if I can see any version or something like that. Look at this. I have a version, and I know that I am at a enable block 403 coffee, sorry, developed by Diego Najar. So we do have this option here. So this is Metasploit. This is a Ruby script, but we're going to be expecting it like search exploit, access and examine, and then the script. And we'll see. Let me see where it's just about looking at it. And yes, it's working on admin.php. What else? Admin.php, it's authenticating still. And here the exploit, here's where the exploit starts, right? So target does not appear to be vulnerable, unable to log in. Payload name is a random name.php. So payload encoded, application xphp, format image file name. See that. And this is the end. Okay, so image file name, let me see this. Where was it? Okay, so there's a plugin called my image, right? So I saw here plugins and my image, right? So configure. And what is this? Oh, this is pages, sorry. My image configure. And here I can upload a file, and apparently I can just upload a PHP file, right? Just that. So let me do this. Oh, what happened, man? Oh, didn't hard Tmax. So let me grab the IP once again. And Tmax and T again without the HTB. And I'm gonna be splitting up the screen. So let us create a nano shell.php file like this, just simple one. I'm gonna be using in this case a system function, and inside of it I'm gonna be using this function here, get, in order to get a parameter via get requests. And inside of it, again, I'm gonna be using cmd. That's the variable name I want to call in order to execute commands, right? I'm gonna be copying shell php, as in this downloads shell.php, and it says permission denied because that shell p was created by root. I used it before when I first did the machine, so about right, it's the same file, same content. I'm gonna try to upload it in here. Downloads shell.php, save changes, and well, there's a lot of errors in there, but I saw a message saying that it was successful. So now the question is, how do I see it, right? And I think the answer is in, oh god, search exploit, once again Nibbles, and then this one, search exploit, examine this one. So the answer must be over here. It says admin.php, that's not exactly what we want. What was it? Uploading payload, okay. Here are all the errors. It's checking if it exists or not, like it's intended to be. And here you see it. So php fname, apparently it gets saved with that name, like image.php, because I mean the actual name of the exploit was random, totally random.php. And payload URL, normalized URL, so content private plugins. I saw that before, right? So content private, look at this plugins. My image php fname, which is image.php, right? So my image and image.php, there it is. And control U. No, okay, so let me just try to call my cmd variable in here with cmd equals id, and look at that. We have a remote command execution through a authenticated arbitrary file upload, and from here I can execute whatever I want, right? LZLA. So let us grab our reverse shell right off the bat with ncmvlp. Actually, let me call it in the window below. So I'm gonna be using bin bash. Okay, so bin bash c, and inside quotation marks, I'm gonna be using bash interactive mode redirection to this def tcp 10.10.14.4 and some directions. Now this will not work. Why is that? Because the ampersand actually needs to be encoded. How is that? Well, we just need to replace it with a percentage symbol and 26, just like that, and the ampersand over here as well. So percentage and 26 and enter, and there is a reverse shell. So I'm going to stabilize our shell with a script def null c bash Ctrl Z, and from here I'm gonna be using stty raw minus echo colon semicolon fg to foreground and reset xterm, and I'm gonna be exporting a variable called term as in xterm so that I can Ctrl C. Well, that the actual term variable being exported to xterm will allow me to hit Ctrl L to clear the screen, right? Now we're gonna be having a bit of a trouble with the screen proportions, because we need to specify to do something like the stty size. That will give us the number. Actually, let me like that. That means we have 28 rows and 126 columns, right? I'm gonna be specifying here stty rows. Look at that. You see how the line overlaps? That's because the actual screen resolution is up to here, but we need to move it up to to make it match my screen resolution, right? So rows 28, columns 126, and you'll see that I can now do whatever I want, right, without any trouble. So let's go back here, and I'm gonna be using cd. Okay, so I'm Nibbler. So before everything else, let me sudo tag L, and well, I have an option in here with home Nibbler personal stuff monitor.sh, which is interesting. So let me go to home Nibbler, and first of all, my user flag. I have a personal.zip and a bash history which is empty, and .nano which usually doesn't hold any sensitive information or any information at all we're interested in. So personal zip, and I like to unzip that just to see what it is, and be on the lookout because sudo tag L we don't have the personal folder, we just have a personal.zip. Hence the monitor.sh doesn't exist, so we can create one and have it be executed as root, right? So that's good. So before all of that, let me personal.zip, and okay, look at that. So it unzipped the personal folder, the staff folder inside of it, and the monitor.sh file inside of all that. So let us go to personal, let us go to stuff, and let us check that monitor. What is this? Techmain monitor.sh, so it's not a custom script. And ls la, we have read, write, and execution permission. So let me remove this, not interested into this, and I'm gonna be using monitor, well, nano, just like that. I'm using a shebang, which is a comment with hashtag sign and a exclamation mark and bin bash. With this I'm gonna be using something interesting, so I'm gonna be giving bin bash and sticky bit, right? So the user field of this binary will have the sticky bit assigned, which will have it, which will have the whole binary bin bash be executed by any user as the owner, as the user owner, right? So bin bash is owned by root, so whoever can execute it, and it will be performed as root just because it's sticky bit. So let us save it. There you go. And sudo l once again. Let me check bin bash. And I can run sudo s and sudo. What the hell? Sudo. I mean, it works, right? Sudo nibbler. I don't know what's going on. The hell? Command not found. How come not? Nope. I mean, I don't know what's going on. Command not found. Which shamat is not? It does exist. So at this bin bash shamat u plus s bin bash. Oh yeah, I know what's going on. So if I hit lsl stack l, we'll see that it doesn't have execution permissions here, so it can't be executed by any means. So shamat u plus x from execution and that one, and then my friends, I'm gonna be checking the bin bash permissions and running the sudo command. There you go. Once again, the lsl, and you see this an s, that is the sticky bit. Again, since this is the user field, there's also, for you to know, there's also a GUID, which is a like sticky bit but for the group ID, but in this case for the user ID, the user field. So we have in the user field in here a sticky bit that is for the, I mean, any user who executes this binary will run it as root immediately. Now bin bash ID, we are nibbler again. Why is that? That don't work because we actually need to use a bin bash stack p, and the reason behind it is kind of complex, it's kind of technical, and I encourage you to read about on Google. Yeah, we need to do it, right? So now we have a effective user ID set to 0, which is root. So I can go to root directory and cat or root flag lsla, right? So again, this was a easy level machine, but it was important for the exploit kind of thing that we needed to interpret, understand, and exploit manually from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and subscribe if you like this content, and I'll be seeing you later in another videos. And that's it. Bye bye.